Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 6:30, we're on the scene of breaking news in Lexington, where police are questioning a driver who caused this fiery crash, narrowly missing a home.
We'll have a live update in just a moment. Also, the death toll in New York City is rising as crews comb through what's left of 2 buildings destroyed in a fiery explosion.
And meet a toddler who's being called a hero after saving her mother's life. These stories and breaking news as it happens coming up on WKYT This Morning.
And that includes the latest from Austin, Texas, where a driver crashed into a crowd at a music festival. Already a busy day in the news. Good morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. We have much different temperatures than we had earlier this week. Much to our chagrin.
Yeah, right. We had a little spring there for a day or two. Back to winter, and now some improvements again. Let's check in with Micah, because I think this ride continues, doesn't it?
It continues, and then guess what? Tomorrow, we're back to spring. It's weird, man. Get those medicine ready, okay? First alert offender to live radar. There's the look over toward southeastern Kentucky. Still trying to get rid of that snow, but it's thrown off some side roads, back roads. That's why we have some school closings this morning down in southeastern Kentucky. Current temperatures, teens and 20s. Add a little wind to that, we're sitting in the teens, even a couple of single digits there for the wind chill. It'll be chilly, upper 30s, lower 40s, but at least it will be sunny, and sunshine always helps. However, we talked about it, back and forth, back and forth. Get your headache medicine ready, because the next 7 days are going to be a roller coaster ride, and I'll show you that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, a busy morning for our news team.
We're tracking a breaking news alert this morning. It was quite a wake-up call for a Lexington family when a car came crashing into their front yard.
That's after it had gone through some other yards. The crash happened about 5 o'clock this morning on Cooper Drive between Chenaway Road and Andover Drive. The car actually caught fire after crashing. WKYT Sean Evans was the first reporter on the scene. He's joining us live now with an update on the breaking details that we have. Sean, good morning.
Bill and Rebecca, good morning to you. Now, the scene cleared not too long ago. Police and firefighters just left here a few moments ago, but it was very active when we got here at the corner of Andover and Cooper Drive around 5:30 this morning. Lexington police say they suspect the woman driving a rental car was drunk when she crashed into a light pole on the opposite corner of the intersection from where she ended up. Police believe she lost control of the wheel, careened through several yards before somehow avoiding at least 2 large trees and another light pole and coming to a stop just a few feet from a home. Now, firefighters were called and they had to put out a small fire on the car, but we're told that that did not spread to the home and there was no damage done to the home. Shortly after being checked out on scene, the driver was taken away by police in the back of a cruiser. And no other cars were involved, and the only damage appears to be what was done to the yards and the light pole across the street. So thankfully, it could have been a much worse situation, though, especially if traffic had picked up here with the morning commute. We're live in Lexington. Sean Evans, WKYT.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. And also another drunk driving situation developing this morning. Police in Texas say a suspected drunk driver will face capital murder charges after killing 2 people when he crashed through barricades set up for the South by Southwest Music Festival.
23 other people were injured, 5 of them critically. Austin police say they were chasing the driver when he crashed into a crowd of pedestrians. The driver also struck a cab before jumping out of his car and trying to run. Police later used a taser to subdue him before he was arrested. This morning, we're tracking the search for a suspect in a Madison County home invasion. Richmond police say 25-year-old Brian McIntosh tied up, beat, and robbed a 61-year-old man over the weekend at the victim's home on Jason Drive. They say another person, Stephen Sowers, has already been arrested in this case.
There will be more police in a Lexington neighborhood this morning after a teenager says a stranger tried to lure her into his car on her way to school. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is tracking this case for us live. She is near Edith J. Hayes Middle School with the details. Whitney, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, the girl says that a man tried to lure her into his SUV while she was walking to school yesterday morning. Obviously a very scary situation for her, and that has residents here in the Stewart Hall area on high alert this morning. An email was sent out to residents in this neighborhood alerting them of the incident. The email reads that a 13-year-old girl reported to school officials and her mother that a black SUV pulled up beside her and a man asked her 3 times if she needed a ride to school. The student reportedly ignored him, and that's when the man opened his vehicle door and told her to get in. She ran away and the man drove off. Now, obviously, parents who live in this neighborhood are concerned and say they're surprised by what happened. So this morning, there will be more of a police presence in this area, and officers will be stepping up patrols so that everyone here stays safe. Live in Lexington, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
Police say a man was caught red-handed on surveillance video stealing from a home. Salyersville police arrested 33-year-old Willie Reisner. The victim, Charlie Rose, says he installed 4 surveillance cameras after a previous home burglary. This week, police say those cameras saw Reisner walking out of Rose's home with a large jug filled with spare change. Rowe was not home at the time. He says the cameras paid off.
I don't like a thief. You know, I like to leave my house and I can see it from my phone, know what's going on. You never know.
Police have charged Reisner with second-degree burglary.
A man shot and killed by police in Louisville was not the man that authorities were looking for. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department says 53-year-old Albert Keyes refused to show ID, leading to a car chase. The deputy shot and killed Keyes once he pulled a knife on them. Police were actually looking for Christopher Smolik when they ran into Keyes. Smolik tells the Louisville TV station that he was in the area and saw Keyes speed away from police. And he says he feels bad about what happened next.
And I feel like this gentleman lost his life because of me. And it's really hard. It's really hard on me now. And then, you know, people I work with, you know, thinking I'm involved in this somehow or that I was killed. And, you know, it's just really hard.
Smolik says he plans to turn himself in. Now, in another twist in this story, it turns out that the man deputies killed did have reason to run. The FBI says Albert Keyes was the suspect in bank robberies in both Tennessee and Ohio. The 2 deputies involved in the shooting are now on paid administrative leave. Well, at least 6 people, a new death toll this morning after a gas leak triggered a blast in New York City.
Marley Hall is on the scene in Harlem, where search crews are still looking for missing people.
With bright lights to show the way, rescue workers worked through the night searching for missing people in the rubble of 2 buildings that collapsed after an explosion in East Harlem. Overnight crews pulled more bodies out of the rubble. The victims are being identified. One is 44-year-old Griselda Camacho, a single mom to a teenage boy and a security officer at Hunter College. Another, 67-year-old Carmen Tenko, a dental hygienist who had Wednesdays off. Relatives were hopeful until the last minute.
My family's been trying to call her all day long, just hoping that, you know, maybe she's in the neighborhood doing something.
People in this neighborhood say they had complained of an unbearable gas smell for weeks. Utility crews were on their way to investigate when the explosion occurred.
Come on, let's go help, man.
Cell phone video shows the chaotic moments immediately after a gas leak triggered Wednesday morning's blast. Huge flames leapt into the sky.
It sounded like a bomb.
This Google image shows what the 2 5-story buildings looked like before. This is what's left. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
The National Transportation Safety Board is actually on the scene to find out what caused the leak and explosion. In addition to investigating transportation issues, the agency is also responsible for investigating pipeline incidents.
We're about to hit 6:39 on WKYT this morning. The Richmond City Commission has tabled a proposed ban on smoking in public parks. The Richmond Register reports the ban would have included playgrounds, shelters, sports dugouts and bleachers, and park bathrooms. Mayor Jim Barnes, who says he supports the idea of smoke-free parks, says more discussion is needed before there's a policy change like that at the city's parks. Well, a bill that would allow U.S. Senator Rand Paul to run for re-election to his seat as well as for the White House is now headed to the Kentucky Senate. Current state law says no candidate can appear on the same ballot twice in a general election. The bill cleared a Senate committee yesterday. The wording was changed to make it only apply to candidates running for president or vice president of the United States. And those who are supportive of it point out that it mirrors the Wisconsin law that allowed Paul Ryan to run for VP and for his congressional seat.
And a 3-year-old girl from Massachusetts is being honored for saving her pregnant mother's life.
Ariana Lynch received the Safety Officers Award from a local police department. Last month, when her mom, Tiffany, suffered a seizure, the 3-year-old was able to successfully unlock her mom's cell phone and dial 911. The girl's father had been at the hospital at the time.
A little overwhelmed, to be honest with you. She plays around with different download apps and stuff like that on the phone. but unlocking it, be able to make a phone call, answer a phone call, unlock the deadbolt on the door, let people in, keep her sister calm. It's amazing.
Ariana was also granted a full scholarship to preschool. Well, good for her.
Yeah,
Knowing
good for her.
The right thing to do.
Yes, very cool. Well, let's check to see how traffic is moving along the roads this morning.
At 6:40, 20 till 7, and let's go to Officer Don and check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Just had a look at Leestown Road, leaving Masterson Station down toward Forbes, and traffic's moving okay through there. Watch for patches of ice this morning. That's right, the ice is back in small patches here and there, so be extra careful. Like Man of Warren alumni, there's some water that's left standing there that's frozen over. Let's get a look outside and show you what's happening as you plan to head out the door on this cold morning. There's Harrodsburg and New Circle. Traffic's picking up and moving okay through the crossover. Now, as far as our Waze map's concerned, live drivers on the way in. Traffic's moving around the city. No significant delays, but some stalled cars we can see there on the Circle. Now back to you in the studio.
Yeah, and a good word to the wise on ice out there this morning with our temperatures in the 20s. We thank you very much, and you can sign up at WKYT.com to become a live driver. Hey, it's good to have you along with us Thursday morning on WKYT this morning, and much more is on the way.
The winning streak ends for a controversial Jeopardy contestant. Find out which question ended Arthur Chu's run on the quiz show.
And I'm meteorologist Micah Harris. Current temperatures, we're in the teens and 20s. Outside, it is chilly. And then we stay chilly today, but tomorrow a big time warm up off into the weekend. I'll show you that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
First Alert Defender still has a little snow out there. Winter is not over yet. I know we were 75 degrees just about, 48 hours ago? But we're still seeing some snow over in the east and southeastern zones. And that's trying to get on out of here, but it's running into those mountainous regions, winds out the northwest, and that's really allowing these snow bands to just continue to go over and over again. Some of these county schools are closed. Perry County, Leslie, Wolf, that's what we've heard of so far. And it looks like a lot of that fell, especially there in southern Perry County. Now, here's the thing. Did you know the latest date last year, so last year, the latest part of the year, that we had measurable snow, 0.1 or better, was on March 26th. We still have time, unfortunately. I know, a big whopping thumbs down for that one. That is for sure. Current temperatures outside, it's pretty chilly, and that's going to be the case for today. It will be chilly today. We're in the teens and 20s this morning. Throw a little wind in there. It's not as gusty, but there's still some. We're talking teens there for the wind chill. At 8 a.m., there you are, sitting about the 22, 23 degree mark. By the afternoon, we're upper 30s to lower 40s, and you can see that across the way. The farther west you are, better likelihood of hitting 40 degrees or better. A lot of sunshine, though. That always helps, not just for today, but for tomorrow. We'll have some gusty winds tomorrow, but that'll pump us up to right around 60 degrees. So we go from 75, 2 days ago, 30s yesterday afternoon, 30s today, right around 60 tomorrow. Get that medicine ready for those headaches, because it is going to be one of those times you get those sinus headaches and go, God, this weather kills me. Yeah, it's going to be that in the next 7 days. Saturday, many events going on. St. Patty's Day Parade here in Lexington starts at 1 p.m. Festivities start at 10 a.m. You got some going on in Richmond as well, and a lot of these surrounding counties. Take off, enjoy that. Take the families out. That's a good thing to do. Sunday, it'll be rainy. It'll be nasty. I'm leaning more towards mostly rain with a hint of some snow, especially that evening and into the night. Overnight hours into Monday morning, that's when we have that snow chance. So St. Patty's Day Monday afternoon and into the evening, anything you have going on, plans, friends, whatever it may be, take off and enjoy. But a nasty Sunday, I think that's a good idea to probably stay inside and maybe watch a little selection show going on.
Yeah, that'll be going on that evening,
yeah.
So that kind of works out.
That works out.
Nasty weather anyway, right?
It is.
Okay, but we'll enjoy today. Sounds pretty good. Thank you.
Well, Jeopardy champ Arthur Chu has finally been defeated.
Chu finished with $0 on last night's edition of the quiz show. Chu struggled for much of the show when in the final Jeopardy he risked and lost his entire day's bankroll of $6,400. It was on a question about George VI. Now, before last night's loss, Chu had won 12 days in a row, taking home a total of $297,000, making him the third winningest contestant in the game show's history. So he's going to do okay.
He's doing all right, yeah. And a lot of people were hating on him because, he was winning so much. But like I say, haters going to hate.
That's right.
So they're probably happy with this news, but he's still doing all right.
All right. Well, he goes back to his normal life now. Coming up on 6:48 on WKYT this morning.
We have a lot more news when we return. Stay with us.
I'm Nora O'Donnell. Coming up, see how a group of women gives National Geographic magazine readers an unparalleled look at the world. That's coming up here on CBS This Morning.
Good morning and welcome back to WKYT This Morning at 6:51.
And happening in the news, Lexington police say suspected drunk drivers to blame for a fiery crash that nearly damaged a home.
The car ran into a light pole at Cooper Drive at Andover Drive. It then went through several yards and nearly crashed into a home. The car then caught fire, but the driver was able to escape. That woman was arrested at the scene. We do not know what, if any, charges have been filed at this point. Police in Texas say the driver of a car that ran through temporary barricades and into a crowd at the South by Southwest Festival overnight is in custody right now. Authorities say 2 people were killed while more than 20 others were transported to various hospitals, most of them with minor injuries. 5 to 7 people had more serious injuries. The driver could face capital murder charges.
New York City firefighters say a woman and a man are the 5th and 6th persons to be found dead in the rubble after a gas explosion that flattened 2 apartment buildings in East Harlem. Investigators say around 5 people are still missing as the search continues. The blast almost injured more than 60 people, are also injured, I should say, more than 60. Folks had complained of a gas odor before the explosion.
Here in Kentucky, Governor Steve Beshear is getting some professional help for today's prayer breakfast that starts shortly. NFL player and former Wildcat Jacob Tamme will be headlining this morning's event. Beshear has been criticized for the event in the past, with several groups claiming the prayer breakfast is an unconstitutional endorsement of religion. Today's event begins at 7:30 this morning at the Convention Center in Frankfort.
And this cold, snowy winter has taken a toll on a lot of us, including organizations that help out the needy. The Salvation Army in Lexington has seen a 60% increase in the number of folks seeking shelter so far this year. That means more expensive bills for the shelter. Last night, a group of Zumba dancers stepped in to help raise money with a unique fundraiser.
It's amazing to me how they all seem to know what to do, and they really are having a lot of fun. It's a picture of love and generosity, really. It's people having fun and really caring about the homeless, and so I'm just thrilled.
Looks like a lot of fun. About 200 people took part in last night's event, raising more than $2,600 for the Salvation Army. Have you ever tried your hand at Zumba, Bill?
You try your feet at Zumba, don't
I guess,
you,
yeah,
Laura?
you would. In your hands, too.
It goes on at my gym. I see them all the time. They seem to have a great time. No, I haven't done it yet. 6:53 on WKYT and on WKYT.com. We're tracking all the latest, and we included, of course, that crash along Cooper Drive. We have the closing bar up this morning with now more than a dozen schools having to call it off or delay things today because of the winter that just won't give it up. Our First Alert weather page shows some improvements today with sunshine. Still going to be cold, though. Tomorrow looks nice. The highs climbed to near 60. Micah's updating the forecast, and you can check it out anytime. Take us along on your smartphone if you are on the move. Just go to the weather page. We're keeping track of the situation in Austin, Texas this morning, where that car plowed into the music fans at the South by Southwest Festival overnight. 2 people killed, at least 21 hurt. CBS This Morning will have live reports from the scene coming up in just a little bit. We have some really big guests coming by WKYT today, and we do mean big, by the way. On mid-morning at 10, the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, will be here. He'll be talking about his career and also his trip to Lexington for the Comic-Con convention that's going on this weekend at Rupp Arena. So that should be a lot of fun. And then Kentucky's own Olympian, Dallas Robinson, will be our guest during the noon news hour. The EKU grad and Georgetown resident will be talking about his big trip and the competition that went on in Sochi. So we look forward to that. I hope you can join us later today for those interviews. Kentucky.com reports that former Lexington City Councilwoman Casey Stacey Crosby has resigned from a post within the Kentucky Republican Party after declaring her candidacy for lieutenant governor. And stay with us for CBS This Morning. Coming up in just a few minutes, they'll have the latest world and national news and, of course, our local updates. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com.
And Bill, Micah Harris says that Zumba's great, but it's nothing like Prancercise. That's what he does every morning.
I'm sure that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, no wrecks right now. Let's get a look outside, and we'll show you what's happening as you plan to head out the door. Just patches of ice to deal with, so we're okay there. Just be extra careful. Now back to you in the studio.
You know, I thought about Prancercising as I was coming back, but people are leaving, taking off today, and I just don't want to ruin their day like that. I don't want to do it. First Alert Defender Live Radar. There's the look outside. Appreciate that. Officer Don. Outside, we're seeing some snow here and there. Maybe some of those back roads down toward the southeast. And temperatures are now in the teens and 20s. It's cold outside. And by the afternoon, we'll call it chilly, not cold. Upper 30s, lower 40s. That's something we're all too familiar with. So all in all, a lot of sunshine that helps us out big time when you have temperatures like these.
All right. Thank you.
I'm going to get you guys to do Zumba.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I'll try it out. Thing. Well, I mean, it does look like fun.
Try one.
Burn some calories.
We'll see. We'll see how we can make that happen. If you're interested in raising your spirits, try educating yourself on the making of moonshine. I
guess that's an option. Moonshine University in Louisville is now offering a range of classes. You can take a 2-hour class for $30 or $5,700 will get you a 5-day distiller course. Moonshine University says the hands-on classes are for novices and aspiring distillers alike. Growing industry out there now. I mean, for years they were chased by the revenuers and all that, and it was a big thing confined to the mountains, but now
it's everywhere.
Yeah, big moonshine industry emerging. Okay, thank you for being with us. Nobody's more up to date than you, and we're glad you've been with us on WKYT.
Have a great day. CBS This Morning's next.